Hey everybody, welcome back. We have an Artisan Cutlery Tasit here today. And I have to tell you, the blade design, I was kind of like, man, this is going to be a chunky knife. It's got the cool Damascus steel on it. Artisan Cutlery really did it up. I love the pivot. I love the blue accent, of course, both sides. Titanium frame lock. But the really cool part, flipper tab or thumb stud deployment. So you can see how they work as like their stop pin on both sides, but you could also use it as a deployment method, which I think is super duper cool. Now, I thought this one's gonna be really thick, but it's a really thin knife. Let me see if I can show you compared to like even a bug out. You know, you can see the difference on those. Not too much difference. Little tiny bit thicker because of the frame lock on the Tasit, but you can get an idea for that right there, just how thin it's going to be. So overall, I'm really digging this from just the standpoint of being a thin knife, but keeping that thick, chunky feel. You got a milled titanium pocket clip, and unfortunately, I'm very, very sorry, lanyard fans, there is not a lanyard hole. They do have a milled back spacer right here. Titanium has Artisan Cutlery. Oh, look at that. There is a little bit of an area for a lanyard. Oh my gosh, you guys are lanyard fans, can rejoice, celebrate. This one is ready to go for you. Oh, I'm so happy. That's awesome. But you got a really cool blade here on this one. They're also going to make it, I think, in an S35 VN. This is a 3 1/4 inch blade. Overall, 7.75, 7 3/4 overall. Closed is 4 1/4 inches. Plain flat grind to it. Your handle width is only an inch, so that is super cool. And it's super smooth deployment. It's riding on ceramic ball bearings. Flipping it, it just comes out perfectly. I have to say, this one's borderline for me. I'm not usually a fan of, you know, this big blade, but because of the thin frame to it in handles, it fits great. You know, I have a large glove size hand. It just locks right in there. You got a ramp with some jimping on it. I'm digging this one. I got to get used to the blade shape. It's not my norm, but it's obviously got the stabby, slicey part to it. Really good, really good. You got your thumb stud, stop pins up here. Pretty cool overall. Retail, I've seen it from $187 to $248. It's made in China for Artisan Cutlery. This is the Tasit, and it's a Dirk Pinkerton design. Really, really awesome how thin it is. It really keeps it on that borderline for me. You know what I mean? It's one of those knives where it's like, man, I could really, really rock this. So I carried it for a day. The milled pocket clip, not too bad. It also rides right in there in between where the frame lock is. So, for me, that keeps it in a good area. Because you're not having to worry about, you know, when you try to deploy it, pushing down on it too much. So, it's still going to deploy out great, even when you have your, you know, little bit of, you know, your big fingers resting down on there. But you've got that width to the blade or to the frame that it's not going to matter too much at all. Pretty good overall. I like this. I'm not sure if I would go with the Damascus or the S35 VN, but I really do like the way the titanium handles pop with the blue anodized pivot ring or pivot collar ring on both of them. And you have that big flipper tab right here. It has a little bit of jimping as well, right there as you can see. So when you're getting ready to deploy it, it's right there for you. Ready to go. Boom. Done. Taking care of business. And it's so smooth. It's almost fidgety for me. And I haven't had that too much with, you know, frame locks because just honestly, frame locks haven't been one that I, you know, go too much, you know, being that axis lock kind of guy. It's like, okay. But I want to compare it to a couple knives that are out there. Another kind of Tonto style blade. This one's the Benchmade Bailout. So you can see it's going to be a little bit shorter. Blade length is just about the same on it, which is great. And then the thinness, we talked about it with the bug out, but the bailout just the same, almost as thin. Pretty cool overall. Another one that's really good for size comparison is going to be the full-size Benchmade Griptilian. And this is my user, of course. I use all the time. So, handle just a smidge longer on the Griptilian, but you don't have as many, cutouts for contouring for where your fingers go. So I kind of like the fact that you got a little bit more of that action going on the Tasit here. So overall, smooth titanium knife. It's going to be in that price range of $187 to $248. I'll put a link in the description down below, Artisan Cutlery. You can check this one out. Shout out to Artisan Cutlery, definitely for sending this one out for review. That's kind of cool. I just dig it, and I think for me, that contrast right there between the titanium and the blue really knocks it out of the park for me. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have, been able to hold one of these. Let me know your thoughts. Most importantly, have an awesome day. Do something kind for someone. And most importantly, take care.